Your 8-minute question and answer period will now begin. What accomplishment from the last year were you most proud of?
So for Financing for Futures, we actually finished our original envisioned curriculum. We have 4 tiers. We have budgeting, credit and banking, tax and deductions, and savings and investments. So that was a huge win for the project this year.
Did your team take any action to increase diversity and inclusion?
I'll pass this one on to Elizabeth.
All right, we do have some new students, me actually being one of them, that isn't a business student, which I would say is a good win for that, because primarily it's just business students in Enactus, and we've recruited from classes. I believe Savannah's accounting class had some people that she invited to join. And yeah, and I started back in October just as a pre-med student that now may be looking into business.
How are your projects funded?
So for QR Food Bank, we do actually have a grant from the cooperators. Otherwise, we just try to keep our costs minimal.
Do you have plans to scale your projects? Why and how?
So I'll answer for Financing for Futures. We are planning on expanding our partnerships next year. We're looking at the Mustard Seed and the Women's Outreach Center. And I'll pass this off to Elizabeth.
So for our QR Food Bank project, we are planning to expand that as well, because we are kind of just starting in that starting stage where we have our participants, and we have our participants from the Youth HQ. And what we're looking to do now is to find new ways to reimburse their volunteering. And then for our CRA project, we are looking to begin that with our trade students and have that as a one-day course that may potentially be as a part of a project for business.
Do you have any direct competitors, and what is your unique competitive advantage?
So there are only a few other student groups at the college, actually, but the other student groups that are in operation do similar things. So we are kind of always tussling for, volunteer people and for execs.
How did you manage to meet and plan for your projects as a team despite COVID-19 restrictions?
Zoom all the time.
Have you engaged any subject matter experts in the development of your projects?
So we always make it a point to go and to get pertinent faculty advisors, people that can give us genuine feedback on our projects. As well, we did a research initiative, which I'll pass off to Elizabeth to explain.
For sure. So for our QR Food Bank, we had a focus group on food insecurity and all the topics pertaining to our project. And we had teachers there, we had some counselors, a lot of people that work directly with the youth that we're looking to impact.
What existing resources has your team leveraged throughout the development of your projects?
For Financing for Futures, we did have a finance instructor on board. So just, again, reaching out to those faculty advisors and reaching out to other faculty in the school.
What is an example of a hurdle you face because of COVID-19, and how did you overcome it?
I'll pass this one off to Elizabeth for QR Food Bank.
Okay. I had maybe, I don't know if this is the same example, but I was just going to say splitting up our tasks was a bit of an issue at first, because when you're not in person, there's not that accountability like usual. So we developed a system of just having a list and having names next to people, names for people to put in if they wanted to select a task to complete. So that's the hurdle we overcame with that.
What areas of your projects do you see as most innovative, and why?
So for Financing for Futures, I really like the multi-tiered curriculum because it increasingly gets more difficult as you complete the previous tiers. I'll pass this one off to Elizabeth.
For the QR Food Bank, I like that we have a scale that directly shows, the correlation between a student's work versus the reward they get. And then for the trades CRA program we're developing, I think the unique part is that we're linking that business and trades that, isn't something that's usually done.
Tell us about your project's marketing strategy to reach your target audience.
So for Financing for Futures, we just reach out to these organizations personally. We explain to them what the project is, how it's going to benefit them, and what we need on their end.
And then for QR Food Bank, we reached out directly to those people working with the youth that we're looking to impact. And that's how we were able to secure the volunteers from Youth HQ. And then for the trades project, we have the CRA helping us develop our program, as well as we're hoping to connect with trades instructors to provide this as a one-day program for their students.
What surprised you the most as you worked on your project over the last year?
Oh, that's a hard one. I'll pass this one off to you.
I was honestly really surprised by the people we were able to partner with. It's just kind of unexpected that, I don't know, being a student, sometimes you don't think that these big organizations are going to partner with you, and then we have these great opportunities to partner with organizations like the CRA, which is, huge. So that's something that was surprising to me.
Why is your team the right group to run your project?
I think we have the right motivation. I think we always have the right people in the room, and if we don't, we know how to get them.
What do you expect your project to look like a year from now?
For Financing for Futures, I'm hoping we go right ahead and that we expand our partnerships, but at the same time that we're also able to maintain the partnerships that we have now, because there is definitely value in all of them. I'll pass this off to Elizabeth.
So for the QR code project, we're just hoping to get more students and get more collective volunteer hours from them, and be able to give them the resources that they need. And then for our CRA finance one with the trade students, we are just looking to begin it and hopefully get as many people involved as possible. And if we are able to have it as a project for their respective programs, that would be the ideal option.
Can you outline the costs related to the development of this project?
So Financing for Futures is a fairly low cost project, considering that we built all of our curriculum online. We administer all of our classes virtually. We do have some small printing costs for things like surveys and workbooks and the case studies.
Your time has now expired. Thank you, Enactus Red Deer College.